This
Whenever you have a
conference
query,
will
you
now
can
be recorded.
unmute it.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
So let me take a simple supply chain. So it starts with a customer, and then this customer will connect it to the nearest retailers. I'm taking a typical supply chain, and then these retailers will turn connect with the distribution center will turn connect with the manufacturing plants, and the manufacturing plants will depend upon the vendor or the supplier for the raw materials or the finished goods in case of any capacity issues. So let me take a supplier. So whatever the demand we have at the lowest node, that is a customer. So that will go to the retailer. If the stock is available, retailer will straight away fulfill the demand. If not, that will be further propagated to the distribution center. Distribution center will the availability distribution go to the retailer. Retailer will fulfill the customer demand. If not, then it again propagates the demand to the upward direction to the plant. The plant, if the stock is available, it will uh, provide it to the DC. If not, it will manufacture it
Sorry, I cannot hear.
available.
Can anybody hear?
Hello.
Your screen is too small, and we can't see what is there typed on the screen.
I guess Madhav at the top you can see like
I'm
view
full
everyone,
screen.
right? You need to click on hide everyone.
Okay.
Are we good now?
Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
Okay, okay.
So whatever the requirement we have at the lowest node, that is a customer. So that will move on to the retailer, and the retailer will move to the DC, and the DC will further propagate to the plant, and plant further propagates to the supplier for the raw materials. So whatever the requirement we have at the lowest node, that propagates from customer to the supplier node. So the requirement always from the downside to upward. Similarly, once the supplier provides the raw materials to the plant and plant produces it, and it will supply to the DC, DC will supply to the retailer, retailer supplies to the customer. So supply moves from the upward to downward. So the supply here 100, it will provide 100 here, and here 100, and then 100, and it will fulfill the customer demand. So this is how the movement of the requirement and supply will take place. So now in real, we don't have we have the n number of customers, okay, and our priority, our motive is we need to fulfill the customer demand with the right quantity on the right time with the right quality. To have that, so we should have an optimal supply chain plan in place, so that whenever the customer comes with whatever the demand, we should be able to fulfill uh, with a right amount of time. So to do that, we should have a proper tools in place to manage this. So to manage the supply chain, end-to-end supply chain, we have multiple tools available in the market. So it can be a Anaplan, it can be a JDA, it can be a Kinaxis. From SAP also we have SAP APO and SAP IBP to look into this planning side. So if you look at the SAP side, so we have SAP APO and we have SAP IBP. So APO is the on-premise solution and IBP is a cloud solution, and currently APO is going to sunset very soon, and IBP is going to the future of APO. So now to cover end-to-end supply chain in APO only, there are 5 submodules are there. So starting with demand planning, it has a DP, then a supply network planning, and it has PPDS, production planning and detailed scheduling, and it has TPVS, transportation and vehicle scheduling, and we have GATP. So with the help of these 5 modules, it will cover end-to-end supply chain. So if you look at the DP, demand planning, so what it's a long-term plan, okay? It will help you to forecast your sales, okay, based upon the past sales. By understanding the past sales pattern and everything, it will help you to predict the future sales. So basically DP is a forecasting tool and it's a long-term planning. So once you get to know that this is the demand, you are going to get it. Okay. So then for that, you should have a proper supply plan in place internally. So for that, whatever the demand you got it from the DP, that is an input to the supply network planning. Against that, it will propose optimal supply plan internally. So this is a midterm plan. So once you are having the rough cut supply plan with you, that you need to convert to the actual production plan. So that will be dealt via production planning and the scheduling. So this is a short term. Here every second will matter. So in which sequence I need to schedule the orders, how do I execute the orders, all those things will be handled via PPDS. And the TPVS is a transportation and vehicle scheduling. During the production or post production, to move the goods from one place to another place in optimal way, we'll go with the transportation and vehicle scheduling. Okay. And then at last, GATP. GATP is a front end tool between the customer and the our organization. So what it will do is it will accept the customer requirement. Okay. Against that customer requirement, it will check entire network and it will propose the delivery date to your end customer. Okay. It will accept it and it will check the order, what is their requirement, when they want it, whether we are able to fulfill it or not. So if you are able to fulfill it, by when we are going to fulfill it. So that functionality will be handled by the GATP. So this is an on-premise solution. This is how earlier the supply chain plan tool is from the SAP. So now this is migrated to IBP. Some parts are migrated to IBP, some parts are moved to the S4HANA. So whatever the DP and SNB is there, right? So that is moved to IBP as IBP for demand, IBP for demand, and IBP for supply and response, R&S, and IBP, SNOP. So whatever the PPDS is there, right? So that is moved to S4HANA. So this we call it as the ePPDS because within the S4HANA only we are doing the PPDS. So embedded PPDS. And TPOS, we have a separate module that is SAP TM. And GATP, again moved to S4HANA as aATP, advanced available to promise. Okay. So whatever the functionalities are there as a part of GATP here, they are trying to bring all those functionality into the S4HANA. Along with that, few new functionalities also they are bringing up here. And at the higher level, the functionality looks same, but at the architectural level, the way they achieve those end results is different in the aATP. Okay. So far, any doubts? So let me
Okay.
quickly jump on to the aATP right now. So if you look here, what aATP do is whatever the requirement you get it, whether it can be a sales order, it can be a stock transfer orders. Okay, it will take those requirements. Okay, by understanding the business priorities and by understanding the what probability will get with respect to the customers, it will verify the existing stock situation. It can be a warehouse stock, it can be production orders, or it can be in transit. By considering these things, it will provide the confirmations to the sales orders or the STOs. Okay, so it is a tool which will help you to promise your orders by when I'm going to deliver it. Okay, so here in aATP, it's a completely a cloud solution. So it is very user friendly. Okay, as applications are available in a Fiori, it is very simple, and the configuration part is also very fast. as you can manage via Fiori apps only. And it is, as I mentioned, it is available in the cloud and on-premise. Both the things you can go ahead with the aATP solution. It will connect it to the all the modules. It can be at the manufacturing level, it can be at the logistic level, it can be at the sales level. So wherever you want it, you can use this aATP as a solution to provide the confirmations with respect to the requirement. Okay, so if you see here, so at the sales and distribution level, you can make use of this aATP. So it will help you to promise the dates by considering the existing inventory and whatever the constraints we have. Okay, and it can be at the manufacturing level, at the production order level, or the planned order level. Also, you can make use of the ATP. Okay, at the logistic level, transportation level, also you can make use of the ATP, and during the supply chain also. So it is completely integrated with all the applications. Okay, so depending upon the requirement, you can make use of the ATP functionality in the aATP module. Okay, so now let us understand, as a part of aATP, what are the functionality they are bringing up here. Okay, so let me quickly move on to that. So here, as a part of the aATP, they are bringing these functionality which are highlighted here. So we'll go one by one. The first thing is a product availability check. Okay, so what it will do is, it is more or less same what we have in the ECC or S4 ECC system ATP or the APO GATP. So product availability check is the basic availability check. Whatever the requirement you get it, that requirement will check the whatever the stock situation is available. Based upon that, it will give the confirmation. So that's what the product availability check is. Now, on top of the product availability check, we have the product allocation. So this, it's a very I mean, they have bring all those transactions. We have plenty of transactions in the ECC to manage the product allocation. Even in APO GATP as well, we have multiple transactions to manage to configure the product allocation. But when it comes to aATP, we have only 4 apps. With the help of the 4 apps, we'll manage all the configuration, we'll visualize the results as well. Okay, so in aATP, they bring down those 40 transactions into the 4 Fiori apps. Okay, here the configuration is very simple, and the visualization of the results also very simple. So there is no synchronization issues. So in case of GATP, we have a synchronization between the APO DP to the GATP for the allocation quantities. Okay, and in case of ECC ATP, we have plenty of transactions to do to maintain the conditions and everything. That is also we can avoid in aATP. So why we go for the product allocation? In which situations we go for the product allocation? Let us understand that. So whenever, let me take a simple example. Let me consider the spares business. Okay, so in that organization, I have a dealer channel and the distribution channel. Okay, so I have a monthly allocations. Okay, monthly I'm having a stock of 100 for it for certain parts. So now whoever, whether the dealer comes or the distributor comes, whoever comes first, they will get those stocks and they will fulfill their orders. So if dealer comes late, then he may not get the full confirmations. So to avoid that, if I fix the for this month, the dealer can only get 50 quantity of for this month. Even whether he comes at the starting of the month, whether he comes at the later of the month, his quota will be available. Okay, so whenever he comes, he cannot consume more than 50, and his 50 quantity will be there. Okay, so the same thing with respect to the customers also. Okay, so whenever the customer comes, his allocation should be available. If the stock is available, he can able to fulfill those their confirmation. So let me take a simple example here. So I have a customer C1. and C2 and C3. Okay. If I'm going the normal FIFO thing, I have a stock of 100 here. So now, whenever the C1 comes with a requirement 50, so as the stock is available, straight away it will fulfill 50. Okay. And customer C2 comes with a requirement 50, and as the stock remaining is 50, so it will fulfill the customer 2 with the 50 quantity. And C3 comes with the order quantity 50, but the stock is not available. He has to wait for the next stock availability. Okay. So now, for example, if C3 is the priority customer for me, okay, if he comes late, he don't have the stock to fulfill this order, right? So in those cases, with the help of the product allocation, what we can do is we can set up a limit for the customers. Okay, for example, for this month, customer 1 can consume fulfill their orders up to 25 quantity only. That is a maximum limit. For C2, 25, and C3 of 50. Okay. So now this is with the product allocation. If I go with the product allocation, if the customer C1 comes with the order quantity 50, okay, then if the product allocation is active, it will confirm only 25. Even he comes first and even the stock is available, but still it is confirming 25. Okay. The C2 customer comes with again 50 requirement, his quota is only 25. Okay. Even though I have a stock of 75, it will fulfill only 25. So now our priority customer came later with the requirement quantity 50, and his quota is 50, and the stock is also available 50. So we can fulfill the customer 3 order. Okay. So this is the advantage we'll get it when we are going with the product allocation. Okay. So this is how the product allocation functionality will work. So any doubts here with respect to the product allocation?
Karthik, is this a config or how it is maintained? Because we will be having many priority customers, right?
Right,
Hundreds
right.
and thousands. How
Yeah.
will be that maintained?
So that will be done via one Fiori app. Okay. So whatever the whichever the level you want to maintain these allocations, okay, you can maintain those allocation at the respective level. So either if the minimum number of combinations are there, you can maintain it manually. If the huge quantity is there, huge combinations are there, you can go via Excel upload. The flexibility is there in a Fiori application.
So Karthik, product allocation is done only based on the priority.
Yeah, I mean, in which, see, whatever the combinations, right now I have taken an example of the channel level restrictions, or I can go with the customer level. So whatever the combinations you have, so with respect to those combinations, you can set a limit. So this is a maximum limit for those combination of orders. You cannot exceed more than that.
Okay, basically we can write as many rules as we need.
Right.
Okay.
Karthik, we have a CVC concept.
Yes, that's what my question was also. This is CVC basically talking about.
Sorry.
This is the CVC. I mean, combination you say it is the same thing as
Yeah.
in product allocation was what is called as CVC.
Yes, right. Characteristic value combination. Right. It is CVC.
And Karthik, how we upload these allocations to? We used to upload planning book from some path, right, in APO side. But in aATP, how we upload these allocations?
So in case of GATP, we take a help from the SAP DP planning book. So, but in case of aATP, we have one PD application. Okay, there against the characteristic value combination for how many months you want to maintain the allocations. You can maintain it manually there, or you can go by a Excel upload. One PD application is there for the maintaining the product allocation.
Or through Excel, we can upload the allocations in aATP.
Right.
Okay.
So advantage here in aATP, there are only 4 apps. One is to define those combinations. One is to maintain those allocations. One is to assign those allocations to the master data, and then visualization of overview. I mean, how much is allocated, how much is remaining, that things only. These 4 apps you can manage for the end-to-end functionalities.
So do we need anything to do with scope of check? Scope of check, any checkbox has to be ticked or anything?
Yeah, scope of check is a mandatory thing, right? To carry out the ATP, basic ATP. So once
That's
you
the basic
define,
configuration. We should have that configuration. That's the only configuration at SPR level, I believe.
yeah. So basic ATP configuration you need to do. On top of that, this product allocation you need to do.
Here we don't have then product allocation objective, product allocation procedure, nothing is there, right?
No. That procedure, product allocation group, product allocation procedure, so procedure
Then
sequence, that is not
okay,
there.
generating CVCs is activating CVCs, that all is not there.
Right. That is the thing. I mean, the terminologies look similar, so we don't go with the transactions and all. So we define all those things in a PRI applications only. Whatever we are saying, product allocation group, product allocation sequence. So product allocation group, what you will define, at which period city you want to go ahead, and those things, whether you want to go forward or backward, all those things will be managed by a PRI app only.
Okay.
We don't depend upon the like in case of GATP, we depend upon the DP to bring that product to bring that allocation quantities, right? So there is a problem of synchronization. Sometimes if you consume the sales order against the product allocation, so that may not be updated properly in GATP, okay, due to this allocation issues.
And this allocation of Excel is uploaded through EA11 path?
You can directly upload. So in the PRI application, there is an upload option. Whatever the combination you have, you just maintain in Excel, okay, in a CSV file format, that you can upload it directly. So no need to maintain in any path.
Yeah.
Locally, you can upload it. Right. So the next thing is the alternative based confirmation. I will come back to the backorder processing. Let me go on to the next is alternative based confirmation. It is more like rule based ATP check, which is there in APO GATP. So whenever customer comes with a requirement, okay, if that requirement is not available in respective location, it has a flexibility to look for the alternative location, or it can propose the alternative product also, right? So in ECC, if you look at in ECC ATP, when a sales order is registered for the product P1 at location L1, okay, so then it will check the current stock availability for the respective location for the respective product. If the stock is not available, it will say that it will not propose any delivery date. If you are going with the replenishment lead time, then it will, as per the replenishment lead time, it will propose the delivery date. So now it won't check the entire network. But if you are going with the ABC functionality, it has a flexibility to check entire network, whatever the locations you have, whatever the the plants you have, whatever the products, alternative products which you can use it for the same product. So it will check entire network wherever the stock is available. From that location, it will deliver it to the customer. Okay, it's like, let me take an example here. So I got a sales order S41 for the product P1 at location L1. Okay. So here with a quantity of 10, and this location level stock is only 2. So if I'm going with the normal ECC ATP, so what it will do is it will confirm only 2 and the rest of everything will not be confirmed. Okay. But in case of ABC functionality. If you have this, you have a network of L2, L3, and L4. So these are three more locations are the plants where this product is available. So now the same situation, if the same sales order is registered at a P1 for the L1 location with a quantity of 10. So here 10 quantity is there, here 5 quantity is there, and here again 10 quantity is there. So what it will check is which is the nearest location for me. Okay, if the L2 is nearest location for me, then it will propose L2 for you. Okay, so there basically there is a one building rule here. Whichever the location can confirm the maximum confirmation. Okay, so I have a requirement of 10. So in which location I can get the full confirmation? So, L3 I cannot get the full confirmation, so it will ignore L3. L4, yes, I have the full confirmation. L2, yes, I have the full confirmation. Okay, so or you can go via which location can fulfill the requirement maximum. At maximum we have verified as early as possible. That means, so this 10 can be a stable stock, it can be a planned receipts. So for example, out of this 10, 5 is a stable stock, unrestricted stock, and the 5 which is in transit, or it can be a planned order. Okay, so in those cases it may take 4 more time rather than the L4. L4 is a complete stable stock. Then in those cases it will propose the L4. So depending upon the building rule which you have, and depending upon the sequence we define for the location substitution in the ABC, it will propose the alternative location to fulfill the customer demand. Okay, and the same thing applicable with the product as well. So here in ABC there are 3 levels at which you can carry out the product substitution. One is the location substitution, and the second one is a product substitution, and the third one is a storage location substitution. So these are the 3 levels at which you can carry out this substitution. Okay, so the same thing. So to go for the ABC functionality, first you need to understand at which level you want to activate this ABC functionality. Again, here those combinations will come. Okay, in case of GATP we maintain the condition records, right, and the sequence and all. The same way here also we need to define the characteristic combinations only. Okay, here only a bunch of apps are there. With the help of those apps, okay, we maintain those combinations, we maintain those rules, the sequence of those rules. Second, let me share 1 second. Right. So this is a sequence in which the ABC will work. So whenever the sales order was registered, it will check the alternative control is the thing where you define those the combination at which level you want to define it. Okay, within that what strategy you are going to use, whether you want to go for the location substitution or the product substitution or the storage location substitution, that will be handled in the substitution strategy, within the substitution strategy. Okay, this substitution strategy will have this list of allowed substitutions. Okay, based upon that, it will propose a substitution and it will give you the alternative to the sales order requirement, and it will give the confirmation. Okay, so this is how the ABC flow will work. Okay, any doubt here? Hello.
No, Karthik. Go ahead.
Right. So this is how the ABC functionality which they bought it. The next thing is the backorder processing. So here they have enhanced the functionality of allocation. So in case of ECC, we have only V underscore V2, the basic
Karthik,
thing.
1 minute. Regarding ABC, it is a
Mhm.
rule based, right?
Right.
In GATP rule based, if there is a no location substitution, if you don't have any stock in 3 locations, it used to create some STO or some POs, right? How about this?
So that STO functionality still not came. I mean, in case of RBATP, it has the flexibility to generate the STO as well, but that is not
Yeah.
possible in case of ABC.
Okay, and what would be in the last scenario if you don't have a stock in all 3 locations, and how it behaves?
It will reside in the base location.
Okay.
So
Are you as it says sales order is unconfirmed?
right. It will reside in the base location. See again, there even in GATP also, if the confirmation quantity is not there, there is a flexibility whether you need to give it at the last confirmation thing, last confirmed location, or you want to reside that at the base location, the requirement quantity, remaining requirement quantity. Same thing it will applicable in the ABC as well. Suppose you have
Okay.
registered 10 quantity, 5 quantities confirmed on certain location. You want to keep the remaining quantity at the same location, or you want to keep at the base location. So that you can manage at the Fiori application level.
And how about that? Does it consider the end of checking origin?
Yeah, that's the replenishment lead time I told, right? So it will
Yeah.
consider.
Okay.
So here also the subline items will be generated. So if the base location, if you didn't get the full confirmation, if it is going for the some other location, okay. So there is a flexibility to generate the new line item, new subline item against the main line item, and it will give the confirmation in that. Or you want to have the same line only the confirmation, it will replace that. Okay, the main line item.
Okay.
So it is more or like same functionality which we have in the GATP.
Okay.
Okay. So let me move on to the backorder processing. Before that, let me help you with the right. So are you able to see my screen?
Yes.
Hello. Right. So in case of normal ECC ATP, if you want to do the backorder processing, like whenever you register a sales order, if didn't get the confirmation, that sales order we call it as a backorder. Okay. So to process those backorders, we have the V underscore V2 transaction in the ECC with the limited functionalities. When it comes to GATP, where we have the sorting criteria and the filter criteria to consider the what requirements you want to process for the backorder processing and which sequence you want to allocate the supply elements to the requirement. The same thing is available in the aATP BOP as well, but with a different process algorithms. Here in backorder processing of aATP, they have the 5 different strategies. One is a win, and then second one is a gain, and third one is a redistribute, and fourth one is a fill, and the last one is a lose. Okay, so win is like a rush orders. Okay, so that has to be confirmed as early as possible within the day. Whatever the requirement they have asked for it, that has to be confirmed on that day. So in those kind of orders, we'll keep it under the win strategy. Okay, and the gain is like, it's a next priority orders. It's not a rush orders, but it's a urgent orders which we need to give the confirmations. Okay, so if you look at the win, to give the confirmation as soon as possible, it has a flexibility to take the confirmation from the lowest priority orders. So that you will have it under the lose category or the fill category, the redistribute category. Okay, it can take the confirmation from these 3 sets of sales orders to give the confirmations to the win sales orders. Okay, in the case of gain, whatever the confirmation, earlier confirmations are there while registering the sales order, that will be retained. If there is any possibility to improve, it will improve it, but it never loses the confirmation. Okay, to satisfy the win. Okay, win can't take the confirmations of the gain sales orders. The next one is the redistribute. I will come to this later. The fill is to achieve the to improve the confirmations of the gain sales order, it can take it from the fill. Okay, fill is like it can lose the confirmation if required. Okay, or it can stay like that. Lose is like always it loses the confirmation for the above categories. Wherever the sales order from the above categories requires the confirmation, it will always taken up the confirmation from the loose sales orders. Loose is the lowest priority sales orders in the division. Okay, so win is always tries to get the confirmation as early as possible. Gain is it will try to improve the confirmation, it never loses the confirmation. Redistribute, it may gain or it may lose it. Delete is, so whatever the earlier confirmations are there, to satisfy the above strategies, it will keep on remove the confirmation if the loose sales orders is not available. Okay, finally lose is it always satisfy the confirmation to fulfill the high priority orders. Okay, with the help of these 5 strategy, in the aATP, the backorder processing will happen. Okay, so the ultimate aim of the backorder processing is whatever the requirement you want to consider, that will be considered, and again the supply element, whatever the sequence in which you want to give the confirmation, that will happen. Okay, and it will support all the functionalities which SAP or aATP provides, like ABC will be supported under the backorder processing, product allocation will be supported, supply protection, this is one more functionality which we'll discuss in the coming sessions, and the supply assignment run, this is morely for the retail industry. So all the functionalities will be covered in the backorder processing. It will support all the ABC or the PAL, supply protection, all those things. Okay, this is about the backorder processing. Okay, any doubts here?
We don't have any filter sort concept in aATP.
We have. So whatever the sorting criteria you want to give it, the sorting you can give it, and the filter is also give it. But strategies, additionally, they brought these strategies. In which strategy you want to give that segment, that you can manage depending upon the business scenario. So we have that, the sorting profiles.
Okay, these strategies are when we execute BOP, will come to know, or it should be maintained in apps or how?
It will be maintained before execution only, in which strategy you want to keep these sales orders. Okay, suppose in your business, for example, let me take an example of spares. Okay, so here I have a rush orders that has to be confirmed today only. Okay, and there is a urgent sales orders, there is a commercial sales orders. Okay, these are 3 categories are there. Okay, urgent sales orders is a priority one. Then those set of sales orders, for that I need to create one filter, and I need to define within the urgent sales orders also there is a priority, right? Which urgent sales order I need to confirm first. Is it a FIFO or that is a normal thing only. Okay, but the thing is, in which strategy you need to put it. That differs here in the aATP. Okay, so whatever the urgent sales orders are there, create a segment for it and assign it to the win strategy. Okay, and the next sales order you can give it to under the gain strategy, and whichever the lowest priority is there, then you can assign it under the lose. It is not mandatory that all the strategies you want to use it. If you are not sure about the win, gain and all, you can give it another redistribute. It will behave like a normal BOP which we have in the GATP. Okay, redistribute is like it will cancel all the confirmation whichever it is there as per the new priority sequence which you have given in the sorting criteria. As per that, it will give the confirmation. Get it?
Okay. Yeah, yes.
So this is about the backorder processing. Apart from that, we have the supply protection also, which is pretty similar to the product allocation. Okay, so the major difference here is product allocation setting the higher limit, the maximum limit, right? But supply protection is like setting a lower limit. Okay, this quantity somehow has to be confirmed. It is giving a guarantee that whenever you come set this 10 quantity, you will get the confirmation. Okay, it's a minimum guaranteed supply you can manage for any customer at any channel, whatever the level you want it, you can do it with the help of the supply protection. Okay, so more about we'll see in the discussions, okay, in the next coming sessions. So with this, I'm winding up the session for today. So any doubts?
Supply protection and supply assignment will also be covered in training.
Yeah, it is going to be covered.
How about supply based confirmation?
Supply based confirmation. So I mean, whatever the server we have, that didn't have the flexibility of that because that came in the 2022, right? The full-fledged functionality of the SBC. Okay, it is more like whatever the CTP we have and our MLATP we have under the GATP functionality. So theoretically, I will cover it. Okay. So as whatever the server we have that didn't have the license of the SBC. So license in the sense it is not upgraded to the new version of it. That's it. But theoretically, I will help you with that. What are the things you need to do it under the SBC?
The supply based production is CTP and MATP.
Right. It
Okay,
is a
and the
CTP
present which version we are going with, 1909 or 2022? Which one we are going?
1909.
1909. 1909 doesn't have supply based production, that is CTP and MATP.
Yeah, SBC. Here we call it as SBC. So SBC
What we call
is
F?
part of 1909.
Okay, what we call FBC.
Yeah, supply based confirmation.
Okay, SBC.
So it's like what whenever the requirement comes. Okay, if the requirement comes and the stock is not available. Okay, so what it will do is based upon the bottleneck in your organization, it can be a capacity, it can be a component sometimes. So suppose let me take it can be a bottleneck here is the resource. So by considering the resource availability and all, it will generate a planned order. So with whatever the planned order receipt is there, date is there, right? Against that receipt date, it will give the confirmation to the your sales order. So it's like on the fly, it will generate the receipt element when you are going with the SBC.
Okay.
So if the constraint is the component availability, then whenever the component is available, as per that, it will generate the planned order receipt date. That receipt date will be considered for the sales order confirmation.
Yeah, thank you.
Are the routing constraints also considered? The transportation routes, the timing across it.
Transportation thing will be considered at the no, I mean during the SBC it won't be considered, but there is a concept called capacity restriction in the product allocation. Okay, if there is a transportation constraint to move the product from the here to the customer location, so with the help of the capacity allocation under the provide allocation functionality, you can restrict it. But as a part of SBC, it won't consider the routing constraints. It will consider only the capacity.
Understood. But when a delivery is confirmed to the customer, the transportation delivery time is also considered in the calculation of it. So then the aATP functionality also considers that, right?
Right.
That is a standard. I mean that I think that has been existing from ECC. That remains the same. That aATP has not changed, I believe. Right, Karthik?
Right.
But
So that's what I
but the
mean.
concept of routes have gone, right? With the TM coming in, the concepts of routes have gone. So how do we maintain those transportation lead times?
So I mean
Delivery
here,
scheduling. Delivery
so here,
scheduling is still there.
hello.
Yeah,
Yes,
we
Yes,
can.
Karthik.
Yeah. So I mean, with respect to those lead time PDT and all, as per the master data, whatever you maintain, right? So whatever the normal ECC ATP will consider, in the same way, aATP also consider the same parameters to derive the replenishment lead time. So, I mean, whatever the content I am going to cover as a part of the training, the counselor will share the topics which you are going to cover as a part of the training. So please get in touch with him. And for any other queries, we can discuss. Otherwise, we can wind up the session for today. If no queries are there, we can close the call. Thanks everyone. Have a nice day.
Yeah, thanks everyone.
Thank you very much. It was great. Avant-garde.